Have you ever clicked on a video and wondered, are they actually going to show me what I want to know about the tool that I'm trying to do research on? Well, you clicked on the right video. We're going to start immediately by sinking some 2.5 inch construction screws here just to build the base. I've got a 2x4 for a leg here. 2x6 is the top cap. Works good as a hammer. And we're going to sink another one over here on this side. That is with 1 bar actually. I thought I had 2. We can switch the batteries to make this a better ideal situation to know what you're getting. Let's get the sheetrock up. There's only one thing you want to know as an electrician, and does this tool have enough torque to do what we need it to do? We're going to find out right now together. Now there's a lot of people on YouTube that don't like impacts. And they say use a drill for drilling holes. And that's where I strongly disagree in this situation. This video is brought to you by Olight. I was going to purchase this light myself, but they did send this one to me, so that was very nice. We got the double-sided pocket clip, 2500 lumens, extra bright. It's got the OAL, so you can't scratch this thing. It's pretty difficult to. There's all your settings there. The silent tail cap is probably one of my favorite features. It also has all the other Olight functions that all the Olights have. Not to mention, the double-sided pocket clip has a hidden feature that I just discovered. What is that feature? If you are OWB or IWB, if you know what I'm talking about, if you are carrying something right here and you want to sit down at a restaurant, what I do, I tuck my shirt into this clip right here, just like that, and it stops my shirt from riding up whenever I'm sitting down. And this works on button-up shirts especially because they're particularly loose in the back. Really, really liking the features of these Olights. The Arcfelds do it. Your Ultras do it. Not all of them have this double tail clip, but it's definitely one of the features that I look for from now on for an EDC. So let's get back to the video. So note to self, it does not have a quick insert. That is the biggest downside to this impact. Now what we want to do, we want to realistically cut out a little patch here because we want to get through the top cap of this wall as an electrician because we want to run some wire. So what tool are we going to do that? I'll say with experience talking, the battery life compared to the other ones. The best feature about this tool is that it doesn't have any extra buttons, switches, modes, settings, nothing to be a failure because that's usually the failure mode for a lot of these newer tools. So that is a huge plus when it comes to your everyday carry driver that gets a lot of bangs and bumps and bruises, things like that. Next thing we want to do is take our stud finder. I'm not sticking a wire in the wall. I got my stud finder. I trust my tools. I know my tools. There's the edge of the stud there. Nothing, 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 nothing. Edge of the stud there. Come back over here. Edge of the stud there. Then this thing will also pick up wire if it's energized in the wall. So this is the Zircon. It's Home Depot and it's the 70 series HD. I'm going to cut a hole here and then we're going to start drilling up. What's relevant here is the angle that we need to go because we don't want to be too close to the wall. We also want to make sure the bit is going to reach up in there. So we're going to want to get pretty close to the top. I don't want to ever cut this away because this is a nice pretty corner bead where the ceiling meets the wall. You don't want to be messing with that. That's never going to look the same. You want to cut it somewhere right about here, maybe 3 inches below the ceiling so you can see the top cap. You can see all your margins. So I'd measure down about yay. I'd make my first mark, the top of my level. We'll just strike a line there. Second. Now if it's painted, you're definitely going to want to score this out before you just start cutting with your sheetrock saw. You're going to create a lot less dust. Multi-tool is going to send dust everywhere. So just be mindful of the situation you're in, where you're at. Now we can take our sheetrock saw. This one's from Home Depot. It's a Milwaukee. It's actually really decent. We cut a 2x4 in half with this live. Just to see if we could. That's what you don't want to do. We're pushing a little bit too hard. We'll just recover this. Remember, we won't have access to the back of this, so I'm not going to use my hand back here. I'm just going to pull this back out. But this is a real video, so if I was at a customer's house, that would have happened to me. It's going to take a little bit more mud to make it look pretty, but we still got our margins of the face of this, so we're not in complete trouble. Now, if you got a drill, it's going to be harder to get an extension on this, but they do make them. And this is what you're going to do. A lot of people would say, you want to put this in speed 1 for more torque. That's false. You want this in speed 2 because speed 1 is very powerful. You can send this drill through the wall very easily in speed 1. You have a lot more control in speed 2, and you can maintain how the tool is going to react. You can also bog this thing down with your own hand in speed 2. So what I would do, I'd hold the battery here to keep it away from the wall, and we want to be able to push up. There we go. Now keep in mind, this is a 2x6, not a 2x4. So a 2x4 is 3.5 inches wide. Financial sheetrock would have been right here. So that would have been suitable to make the cut. Then we can put our fish stick, whatever we got to do, straight up there, pull it out, get our Romex, push the Romex up there, like that. Let's try the impact method, because this is what you guys want to know. Is this tiny little 12 volt everyday carry impact that is very comfortable to hold, very light, with only 2 bars of battery, and not a high output battery, just a regular 2.0. Is it able to do the same thing? So right now we're going to be able to start closer to the stud. We have ultimately more control. We can throttle the trigger and stop whenever we want. I can assess. There's a lot of things you can do with this that you can't do with the drill. Very similar. A lot more control. Pull it out. I prefer an impact. So everyone asks me, why do you like an impact when you're drilling through wood? It's because I drill through wood all the time with an impact, and it works just fine. We'll do another one way over here. We got way more control, so we can start this. Right now I'm using one hand, so I can stabilize, I can hold the ladder. I can do a lot more with this. We can even send this up with our pinky upside down, holding it awkwardly. I don't have to push. Pop it in reverse. Okay, so our Klein here, what happened was it was able to spin and it did release, so we got to be mindful of that. That's what this channel is all about, guys. So don't think that this thing's going to stay locked forever, because you got to make sure that you tighten it up. Like I forgot to. We didn't lose a bit because we're using the preferred tools here. But we could have lost a bit. We could have easily lost a bit. So this failed us. Not only did this portion here fail us, where this spun backwards a little bit, but keep in mind the actual collet here also actually totally failed. Like both of these things did something interesting. Where this would have definitely done the same thing, because we also didn't have that extra bit of security. So you say, how are you losing bits in the wall? That's how. So now we can go back up in there. There you go. Back it out, whatever you got to do. For me, impacts is preferred when doing this type of work. Now that we're done, this is going to fit like a glove. Just like that. Get you some strips of plywood, not regular wood with regular grain. You want plywood that's all laminated together in a way that won't split. Regular wood will split this thin. Go in the hole. If you don't have the luxury of holding this like this, maybe you cut a weird hole, you can hold one in the middle. Slide that in there. pull it down, whatever you got to do. I can already tell this paper is going to fight me because that's where this wants to go. So I'm probably going to wind up scoring this paper off. This just a little bit proud beyond, that way it breaks off nice and clean without fighting. One goes there. Let's see what a 12-volt DeWalt can do. Quick insert, a little bit heavier than the Milwaukee, but the way that these clip to your pouch, the belt clips on the 12-volt is superior to just about anything. There you go, that's through, no problem. We'll go ahead and pop this into speed 1. We'll drill over here. So you're pushing a little bit harder than you need to, you got less control. We're able to just throttle the trigger as we need to. It's a way better experience when drilling through the unknown. You can't argue with that fact. Also, we did some damage here with the spinning chuck right there, I believe. I'll have to go back and look at the video. So if you ask me, impacts are the way to go when drilling through wood. What methods do you guys use? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.